Hello, lovely people. So, you might have heard that there was a petition going around which has got more than 2.5 million signatures already, and it's regarding a new general election in the UK because the Labour government is imploding. And basically, I wanted to go through all the reasons why I think there are so many disenchanted people and so many people that have completely lost interest in the Labour government. I made this prediction before. I said that Labour will not make it to 2029 and there will be a snap election before then. But I wasn't expecting it to be this quick. It's only been 3 or 4 months since Labour has got the majority, but there are people already breaking records and saying they have had enough. So I'm just going to go through the reasons why I think this has happened and why this Labour government is imploding. But before all of that, I wanted to say that I think that Keir Starmer is the most incompetent prime minister I have ever seen, and also his cabinet, because these people have never held a position in the private sector or never had any businesses. They are just career politicians. They don't know what they're doing, and they are really failing this country to the point that there are millions of people leaving the United Kingdom, and I was also thinking to do the same. So let's just go through a few reasons why I think this has happened. So the first thing is that this Labour government, they promised they're not going to raise taxes, especially on the middle and working class. But we all know what happened.
All of our plans are fully costed and fully funded. And that means no tax rises for working people.
We're not going to be raising tax on working people.
We will not raise taxes on working people.
We're not putting up taxes on working people.
Labour government will not raise income tax, will not raise national insurance contributions and will not raise VAT.
We're not going to increase tax on working people, and that means
that Labour will not be putting up taxes on working people.
But no, we don't think that we should be raising taxes on working people.
There'll be no additional taxes on households under a Labour government.
Let me be absolutely clear, we will not raise tax for working people.
We will not raise taxes on working people.
We have said we're not raising taxes on working people.
And we're not going to be increasing taxes on working people.
We will not be increasing taxes on working people.
That is a commitment not to increase taxes on working people.
I don't believe it's fair to raise taxes on working people.
We will not further increase personal taxes
on lower
people.
That burden on working people.
There's nothing in our manifesto which requires additional taxes.
It's complete garbage. We will not be raising taxes on working people.
I'm not going to be raising taxes on working people.
I want taxes to be
And we're not going to be increasing taxes on working people.
We've said we will not be raising taxes on working people.
I am announcing an increase in employers' national insurance contributions.
We have no plans to raise taxes on working people. We've said it a million times.
By 1.2 percentage points.
And I'll spell that out. No income tax, no national insurance, no VAT.
Means that this budget raises taxes by £40 billion.
I want taxes on working people to be lower.
So you get the gist. They lied through their teeth. They said they're not going to be raising taxes, and they have exactly done that. And that has led to working class people and middle class people being worse off, because now they're paying higher for their national insurance. If you're a business owner, you're going to pay a lot more now. Combine that with the fact that, we had the Southport riots, and we had this whole issue of people going to jail over X posts or their opinion on social media. And people find that extremely hypocritical, because a few years before, Keir Starmer took the knee and he was supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. But then the Black Lives Matter movement were actually a lot more violent. They set buildings on fire. They vandalize statues. So you take the knee for the minority in order for you to virtue signal. But then when patriotic people protest because they are mad, and as a matter of fact, now we know that there was certain information that was withheld from the public during the Southport riots. And actually, a lot of people were correct about it, including Tommy Robinson. So let's just watch this clip and watch the hypocrisy of Keir Starmer.
Be in no doubt,
I was shocked.
Those that have participated in this violence,
the killing of George Floyd,
will face the full
and the
force
response
of the law.
President Trump,
the police
and the US
will be
authorities
making arrests.
To the peaceful
individuals
protests,
will be
to
held
people
on
rightly
remand.
demanding justice.
Charges will follow,
has been an affront to
and
humanity.
convictions will
The last
follow.
week has shone a spotlight.
I guarantee
on the racism,
you will regret taking part in this disorder,
and injustice,
whether directly
experienced
or
by
those whipping
from
up
black
this
and
action
minority ethnic
online,
communities
and then
in the
running
US,
away themselves.
in the UK,
This is not
across
protest.
the world.
It is
Martin
organised,
Luther King
violent
said,
thuggery.
injustice anywhere
and it has no
is a
place
threat to justice.
on our...
So, and this is the Southport protest, by the way, where people were actually extremely mad at the police officers. So yeah, so this led to a lot of people being disenchanted and very mad towards the status quo, towards the government, because they felt like their freedom of speech is being taken away from them. And the government is basically virtue signaling in a way that, oh, if a minority protests, then they're right. But if you're a patriotic person and you have legitimate concerns, then you're a bigot or you're far right. And that led to people like Elon Musk getting involved in this whole feud and basically exposing this government on the platform X and saying, well, what you are saying doesn't make sense. How can you be releasing criminals, violent criminals, pedophiles, that some of them reoffended on the same day they were released? And you're putting people in jail because of an X post, and you're saying they're inciting violence or, you know, that's hate speech. So it's absolutely ridiculous.
The world's
so let's watch
richest
this.
man, Elon Musk, has an audience of tens of millions of people who read his tweets. He has described the UK as a police state. He said, you have gone full Stalin. This makes the backdrop to you trying to get investment into this country really hard. You must have a message for Elon Musk.
We've been in power for 4.5 months now. And I've made inward investment into this country one of my top priorities, because that investment.
But if he's calling you Stalin, why would anybody
hear me out?
invest?
Hear me out, Robert. I've made that my mission because I know that inward investment will mean better jobs right across the country. Since we've been in power, we've brought in over £60 billion of investment from around the world. That's a record sum of money, and therefore that for me is vindication that the approach that we're taking to the economy, which is to stabilise it, to be strategic and long-term in our decision making, is the very thing that investors care about most.
But you're such a moron. You have the richest person on the planet saying you're stalling. So that would obviously put off other investors as well. So, and also, why don't you want him? You launched a business meeting, a business summit. You didn't invite Elon Musk. And that's why Elon Musk said this about you. He said, I don't think anyone should go to the UK when they're releasing convicted pedophiles in order to imprison people for social media purposes. And I think that hits the nail on the head. This government, not only they've lied through their teeth in terms of economics and people are worse off, but at the same time, they are taking away our liberties. They're taking away our freedom of speech. Combine that with the fact that, you know, the Labour Party is supposed to be the party of the working class. But in reality, they're not the party of the working class. Because you know why? They also took away the winter fuel payments for the elderly.
But today, I am making the difficult decision that those not in receipt of pension credit or certain other means-tested benefits will no longer receive the winter fuel payments from this year onwards. The government will continue to provide winter fuel payments worth £200 to households receiving pension credit, or £300 to households in receipt of pension credit with someone over the age of 80.
Our new Chancellor just took away the winter fuel payment from freezing pensioners. We have to save money, she says. Nothing in the statement about reducing or revoking money to Ukraine. We are ruled by criminals, red or blue. They're all traitors. Martin Lewis chipped in and he hit out at it. He's also explained that they're going to go up in the winter. They're going to rise again in the winter. The energy price cap is likely to rise 10% this October and stay high across the winter, leaving most energy bills nearly double those pre-crisis levels, unaffordable for many people. It's a fucking disgrace. Would have seen her speech about the spending cuts as well. They've insisted there'd be no immediate tax rises. But in the future, there is going to be tax rises. Bills are going to be going up. We're going to be paying more tax. Pensioners are going to be fucking freezing in the houses. I don't know where the change is. Just feel like we're under the same fucking government, just a different coloured tie. Ayo, crack on. Bit of overtime can cover your tax increase, can't it? Fuck me.
So basically, when you start adding everything together, It's not rocket science that more than 2.5 million, I think it's almost close to 3 million now by the time this video goes up. Almost 3 million people have signed a petition calling for another general election. Keir Starmer and this Labour government's popularity has collapsed. It's in the negatives now. And he's the most unpopular prime minister that has ever been after 4 months of his premiership. And this led to this hilarious interview with him. And you can just look at his stupid face. He doesn't know what to say. The guy doesn't even have any charisma. I just question myself, how did this guy get into power? And what kind of an idiot voted for him? Because I was screaming on the top of my lungs before the election, don't vote for Labour. Because they will take this country downhill. Vote for reform. Or at least vote for the Conservatives. But do not vote for Labour. And what I've said has become a reality.
Are you now feeling the pressure? Because I think there's a petition that's currently online
have dropped.
1.9 people who want the election to go again.
Million. It's now
Is
over
it 2 million now?
It's now just over 2 million.
Do you feel the pressure?
Of course he feels the pressure, but he's going to pretend he doesn't. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I think this Labour government has been an absolute disgrace and they need to go. And this is what I mean. The parties such as the Reform Party, they need to be on their tiptoes because a general election could be called any moment. I wouldn't be surprised if it's called next year, 2025, after only a year of them being in power. So let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching. Yunus Rocks here. Till next time.